Hello everybody, welcome back for game number 2 of the March Champions Trophy Grand Finals, hosted by SK Gaming, featuring RAZERiNSo spawning as the yellow Protoss up in the top right position, against his Terran opponent, ClouD, down in the bottom left. Now, we did watch game number 1 take place on GSL Crevasse, so here we are, game number 2. Loser picked the map, so we are here with Inso, who is currently down 1 game, picking Xel'Naga Caverns, which is a pretty interesting map, one of the more balanced in the ladder rotation. You can take a look at it here. You see the main base, a fairly large open area. Got some spaces that you definitely have to reveal with things like supply depots, which we're actually seeing ClouD do right here. This is a pretty good spot for your first depot, actually. Allows you to keep an eye on any pylons right here that may be placed, and, you know, combined with an observer and a phoenix, or maybe in a lucky probe that gets up here, you can warp things in and get into the Terran base, bypassing the ramp, which is down here, and down the ramp leads immediately to the natural expansion. Look at that right there, a little smiley face guy hanging out. The thing about this expansion, though, in this map in particular, is that it's very wide open, very hard to defend. You can see down here there's one choke point, which has a lot of little vision-blocking trees. Another one with a set of destructible rocks, ramp leading down to another expansion over east. And then the two primary ones you have to worry about are right here and right here. You can see it's kind of blocked in half by a little crevasse chasm right there, and leading towards the middle of the map where there's a scouting probe, you can see there's a giant chasm here, lots of little electrified plants and whatnot. 2 Xel'Naga watchtowers, which do give access to the main walking areas of the map. Finally, a couple other expansions on the extreme sides, and 2 high yields guarded by sets of rocks. Now, game number 1, we did see pretty standard builds from both players. Who saw the Terran player ClouD go for a pretty quick expansion, not too fast, but I'd say it was pretty good timing for the map that he was playing on Crevasse with that easy-to-hide command center area up there. And ultimately pushed out with what was essentially Marauders, Vikings, 2 Marines, and Medevacs as well. But the Vikings and Marauders definitely did it for him, able to push back Inso's largely gateway force with some Colossi support. Now, game number 2, we're going to see the dynamics of the game change just a little bit, probably. I mean, if nothing else, Crevasse is a rather unique map. Having an expansion so easy to defend like that allows for a little bit more of a macro-heavy play. Now, on this map, where it's kind of the exact opposite, you can get the expansion, it's still pretty close to your base, but it's wide open and very risky. The trade-off, though, is the travel distance between the 2 bases is pretty darn long. So, rushes, I mean, yeah, it's certainly possible, but if you're going for any sort of super aggressive play, that is one thing you do need to keep in mind. Of course, Protoss has the ability to shorten the rush distance there with things like a proxy pylon. He could be doing any number of things here. He could also be doing some kind of hidden tech play, because this is probably not an area where the Terran player will at least check early to mid-game. If they're going to be checking for hidden tech, they're going to be checking places like this right here, where the SCV is at. This is a more common place along this back path right here. But so close to the Terran player, it's, you know, probably not on his top area, or top list, checklist, or whatever, of places to check. So we will say, we'll just say, let him do what the Protoss player is going to do, see exactly what he's going to be bringing. It looks like it's going to be a Stargate. Could be doing some kind of Void Ray harassment, which would be kind of interesting because the Terran player's got a reactor up here already. And he's also working on that concussive shells and stim pack upgrades. So combine those two together, you're going to have a very potent early game force coming for ClouD that will certainly be able to deal with it. Oh, wow! SCV coming down here. ClouD continuing with the scouting. Sees the Stargate, so he's going to plan accordingly. Indeed, folks, indeed. Alright, now coming up here in the Protoss player, we can see he's opening with a pretty standard build. He's got that second gateway coming, and there's the SCV for ClouD, going to be scouting out the Protoss player, seeing exactly what is at the top of the ramp. You saw he actually didn't make it very far, didn't get to scout the buildings or anything like that, but this, the Stargate, ladies and gentlemen, I think it is going to be going down. Will this Phoenix get out? I think it will. So very close, current boosting out, and it lives. A little lag here, not sure what's up with that, but now we're going on to Dead Pylon, Dead Stargate, and a very happy Terran player. Alright, so looking at this, you can see he's continuing to build out those Marines, and he's also focusing on getting more Marines from this barracks as well. Very good idea there. I also do like how he's the Protoss player lifted off that SCV, trying to delay that expansion for just a second or two. Every little bit counts. As we look up here, we see that robotics facility. I'll say a third gateway for a second there, but looking like he's going to be going with that 2-gate robot build, maybe going into an expansion. I don't know. Looking at the Protoss money right now, he is definitely sitting on a good chunk of it. Looks like there's the third gateway. So 3-gate Robo is the Robo just about complete there. Might expect to see an Observer here, maybe an Immortal as well, depending on whether or not he actually sees this attack, which I think with the Phoenix he did kind of get an idea of what's going on with that. Now looking at the Sentry, there is enough energy for 1 Force Field. He's going to have to use it at the right time though. Looks like that is going to buy him a little bit of time. Bringing in 2 more Sentries, that's going to buy him about 30 more seconds or so, assuming that the Terran player doesn't bolt up, which I don't think so far is actually going to be the case. ClouD is trying to. Not using a stem, though. Don't think stem's quite done yet. No, it is not. Alright, so an Immortal is indeed coming on the way. Very good call. Just forget the Observer there. You know, he's got that early pressure, and his ramp has got to do something. It looks like he actually let up a bunch of Marines, which are going to focus down the Immortal. Oh man, will it live? 39 hit points, so very close. Terran player actually took a few extra hits trying to take that Immortal down and was not successful. So you see here, Stim Pack is done, so if he wants to kite around, he can. But all in all, I think he's just content with just pushing up and trying to get a couple units here and there, kind of make his forces pay for themselves, and that's about it. Another Immortal just about complete there. Do like the scan, and also a 4th gateway. So Protoss realizes he's going to have to get a nice force to push out with and secure his expansion. Meanwhile, down here, the Terran player, you can see he's sitting pretty good right now. He's got that 2nd command center, just about done with that orbital command. He's also got the factory, probably going to be going something along the lines as we saw in the previous game, getting those medevacs and eventually some Vikings as well. We see he's actually content with kind of cornering in his base right now. Now, I don't actually think he saw the Protoss forces. I think he just barely missed scouting that out. But Inso is here and good to go with a proxy pylon, ready to do some serious damage. Wants to try to do a counterattack here. Now, looking at the Terran base, we can see he's got the depot wall and everything like that. Now, the missile turret and these 3 depots, they will be vulnerable to attacks from the land below, as well as this depot. Now, it remains to be seen whether or not he will actually scout that out and take it out, but I do like how he's using the Immortals, trying to outrange the Marines and Marauders there. Oh man, that supply depot is burning. We can see he is actually 60 of 94 supply right now. So the loss of these 2 depots will not really hurt his supply too much, but certainly not something you want to have happen. There goes one of them burning down right there, and we even got a couple SCVs coming off the line to repair it. Good idea. Got to keep that wall intact. Make sure he does not try to push up here, which I'm not sure if he tries to, if it'll actually be successful. There is the bunker right here, which will be able to take a lot of shots at the Protoss forces, especially considering they're going to have to bust through these depots or go around them, which is going to give the Terran player a lot of time to continue to fire away. Good placement of the force fields there is actually keeping ClouD's Marines and Marauders away from the little batch that the Protoss was trying to take out. Almost lost one of the Zealots there, so very close. Terran player, you can see how he's responding. He's just going along with this build, getting the starport in the factory, like I said. In accordance with game number 1, we'll probably see these switch around. Sure enough, there we go. Some medevacs will be very helpful right now. As you can see, the Protoss is definitely trying to whittle down the Terran player. Oh man, the Immortal actually went down! Great response by ClouD. So overall, the four barracks here will definitely let ClouD build up a nice infantry force. You see right now he was using both those command centers to saturate his mineral line. We can see right now 32 to 30 for the worker count. Protoss is trying to expand over here, about 50% complete on that. Looking at the units all so far, we can see Protoss and Terran actually about even, about 200. Oh, that gap just definitely went up there a good bit, as looks like Protoss suffered a little bit as well there. This guy's just kind of going back and forth, a little skirmish here and there. Anything he can do in hopes of just wearing down the Protoss player. But look at that, the loss of the Phoenix is going to cause Inso to lose a good bit of his forces. We saw 2 units go down there, another one lost his shields entirely, and now ClouD is in a pretty good position since he has the medevacs here, able to heal up his forces and add a good bit of longevity to his army. You can see that he is a little bit more secure now as he is looking to move out. Protoss realizing, alright, there's not a lot else I can do here right now. I've bought enough time, I've delayed him getting the expansion, I've got my own, and you can see he's actually working on getting Colossi as we speak. Extended Thermal Lance upgrade, not on the way just yet. That's not really that surprising. You know, at this point, the Protoss player is probably worried a little bit about a counterattack. You know, so he's just going to try to get out those units as quick as possible here. It did see that proxy pylon go down, and now we see the Terran player working on the rocks. Might decide to take that expansion. I don't know yet. Looks like he's actually going to be pushing forward, so we can expect to see some of that money put towards reinforcements here in the near future, as we see actually a couple of them coming right now. No upgrades just yet. Weapons 1 is on the way, as well as a second Colossus for the Protoss player. This will be an interesting fight here. Looking at the army size right now, 101 to 92. Pretty close. Guardian Shield has gone down, and no force fields just yet. There they go. But look at how much damage the Protoss player is doing with all of these Marauders. Nice kiting there. Good micro by ClouD, and this is actually allowing him to take out the Colossi with the Marauders there, and the rest of the forces are gone. MYMClo is in a little bit of trouble here, folks, and there's the GG right there. So ClouD is going to take game number 2 here in the Grand Finals from the March Champions Trophy Tournament. And let's go into game number 3 and see if it's going to be a 3-0 shutout, or if MYMClo is going to be able to come back and push it to 3-2.